All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Coleman Power Organic Fitness Podcast. I have my latest guest, an international. We have previously had chats before, and we are all on the same page, like-minded individuals. Right, welcome the founder of Fusionary Supplements. All right, Shivani, how are we?
I'm doing great today. How are you doing?
Doing unbelievable. I'm straight out of a pie tunnel, and it definitely was close to 40 degrees, and that's why there's currently muck on my hands, and I'm hydrating with some arona berry smoothie I just made.
Nice. That sounds so good.
Oh my God. Dirty. Apologies for drinking and eating, but I needed that. I needed electrolytes, I needed food, and if I didn't get hydration at the same time, I mightn't be able to talk
I
right now.
get it. I get that. I'm the same way. I need to stay fed and hydrated or it's a problem.
Oh my goodness. And we can definitely touch on it a little bit of that as the show further expands. I suppose I want you to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, where you're currently based, and how you got into, I suppose, this whole health kind of wellness aspect of what you currently do right now.
Sure. So I am from Texas. I live in South Florida, so Fort Lauderdale. I've lived here for the last 20 years, both beautiful states in the United States. And I grew up living in two worlds. So when I was in the US and I'd get sick, we'd go to the doctor, you'd get a prescription, you'd take your antibiotics, and you'd get better. And then I also, every year of my life, was going to India and spending my summers with my grandparents and my cousins. And I'd get really sick in India. And when I'd get sick there, my grandma would just mix up some herbs in her kitchen, give them to me, and I'd get all better. And I kept thinking, how come she's healing me with weird, stinky herbs? And it totally works. And I'm all better same day. And in the United States, I'm doing this other thing, and that works. Who's right? And so I kept doing that for many, many, many years. And finally, by the time I got to college, I was so sick all the time, and I couldn't figure out what the problem was. And finally, I went to the doctor and they're like, you've taken too many antibiotics. We can't give you any more. You just took some really big rounds. That's it. And I thought, what do you mean you can't just give me a pill to solve the problem? I thought that's what we were doing the whole time. And they said, no, you've destroyed your gut. You need to go rebuild that. And so I looked at my parents and I said, we're in India, this land of yoga and Ayurveda. Do you think maybe these systems have something for me? Can we go figure this out? Because I have to figure this out for myself. And so I went on a quest through India, studying Ayurveda, going to the detox centers, and everything they did was natural. Like they had huge gardens in the back, and they'd walk you through and say, Tulsi does this, and turmeric does that, and ginger does this. And every herb had such potent medicinal benefits. And I thought, why are we not consuming these? Why are we not using these? No one in my modern day world does this. We just, in the US, go to our big box retailer, we pick up our groceries. Now, post pandemic, we just have them all delivered. No interaction with who made it, where it came from. Not even knowing, I 90% of the time don't know where the food came from. It just was grown somewhere. And so Ayurveda teaches us we have such a unique opportunity to build health from the ground up using ancient wisdom that's over 5,000 years old. And that opportunity to build a healthy body and prevent disease is our sovereign opportunity to stay the healthiest that we can be. So that's why I fell in love with Ayurveda.
Love it. Right. And for people that don't have never even heard of, some viewers most certainly haven't. I have too myself. Explain what Ayurvedic medicine is for the general population. What is it, and how could they maybe incorporate it into life? Let's go break it down. What is it first?
Yeah, so Ayurveda is this ancient system of medicine from India. It's over 5,000 years old. It's one of the original sciences. Just like out of China, you have traditional Chinese medicine, which has acupuncture, and they have their own herbology, and they use their own tools and qigong and things like that. Similar science is Ayurveda. So within Ayurveda, we teach you how to live a daily rhythm according to your circadian rhythm, according to your individual dosha or mind-body constitution based on the elements. We talk a lot about gut health and how your gut and digestive fire is the center of all health, brain health, mood, energy, everything comes from there. We talk a lot about sleep and circadian clock and when to eat and what to eat and how to eat. Then we talk about the super spices and super herbs from Ayurveda, which I love, and I've kind of pulled those to create my own teas and supplements to help people. And then finally, I teach about self-care and self-care for detoxing the body because we have this accumulation of toxins, lymphatic drainage not working, inflammation accumulating, and that's usually the root cause of the diseases and problems that we see. And so my job is to show my clients and everyone how to build that whole system into your life as a lifestyle. And so there's a lot to it, but we can go into any piece of it that you want to.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. And I suppose people will be literally as their ears are pricked. You mentioned the likes of when to eat and how to eat. Would you be someone that would be a fan or would recommend or would even do it yourself? And you don't have to necessarily tell me everything, even what you would recommend to people who would try intermittent fasting, or is there that's something that you do, or is it completely something that's you've no interest in doing?
Sure. So on my website at drshivani.com, I have something called a dosha quiz. And the dosha quiz is an easy way for people to take a quiz and know which of the primary elements is driving them. So we kind of break people into three categories. Are you more air and ether? Are you more fire? Or are you more earth and water? And so we always customize into those three body types. That's like a really body, mental, and emotional type for each person. And so, for example, intermittent fasting is a great tool. Ayurveda taught it for 5,000 years and said we should definitely intermittent fast. End dinner by 7 p.m., don't start eating till 7 a.m., and you can go even longer based on your body type. And so the more airy type actually needs 3 square grounding meals a day. They need that grounding support. So that's like your thin and wiry person. Metabolism's already going really fast. They shouldn't lean in so hard into intermittent fasting versus that person who's more of the earth, Kapha, grounded, stronger body type. They have more room to do that intermittent fasting and then get in their 2 meals later. And the one in the middle, the Pitta, which is the fire person, that person can go either way. You can play with both. But it's just about understanding your body type. So no one health trend fits all of us. And it's important to kind of pay attention to that instead of trying to always take these trends and jam them down our own throats and make ourselves follow them.
My God, I love how you made it and breaking it down so simply into the three different categories. And the idea is, yes, everyone is individual, and that you have a literally, I'm going to say something on your website to give them the either you're the one, two, or three to fit into the category that suits you. And
Yeah.
the idea of you even describing people that are taller and lankier and are lighter in weight, they're someone that need a lot of fuel and have to most certainly and would find it more difficult to get in the amount of recommended macronutrients that they need. If they did try to do intermittent fasting, it makes it even more difficult. And if you make health and most certainly your life harder than it already is, it is going to end up, I'm going to say, in a car crash.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And so it's about paying attention to that. A lot of times nowadays, we're seeing trends and we think they're for all of us. Everyone's like, should I do carnivore? Should I do keto? Should I do vegan? Should I do paleo? And I'm like, guys, and it's funny, sometimes I'll sit down with my own health coaches and I'll be like, okay, just tell me the answer. Obviously, I'm not winning, just tell me. And they're like, you teach health, you know for a fact that we have to customize to the person. I'm like, I know, but it would just be easier if you told me what to eat. And they're like, how would you write this out for a client? I'm like, oh, okay, well, if I had a client who came this way, I can tell you real easily. Nutrient density, nutrient variety, eat for your circadian rhythm, and eat for your dosha constitution. And they're like, okay, well that's the homework for you too. Eat for that nutrient density and nutrient variety that's really going to feed your cells. That's going to give you that end result you want. The body at the right ideal weight, the body, brain, and gut on track, all those things we ask for. But we may not be investing in eating those foods that give us that.
All right, good. So I suppose are there particular foods that are generally recommended for either the fire, the earth, or the dosha individual that
Yes.
you would like to break it down even further than that?
Yes. So we love a diet that's rich in nutrient variety first. And a lot of times nowadays, and you and I had this conversation, you showed me that you had like 39 varieties of tomatoes you were growing. And I said, guess what? I order my tomatoes from Costco. I get one choice. It's called tomatoes in the box. There's no other choice. So year round, we're eating the same tomato. So you added a nuance to me that I never thought of. I thought of it as, okay, tomatoes, cucumbers, bell peppers, eat seasonally, fit more types in. But what you showed me is within types of food categories, there's so many varieties, and that's a much bigger reason to go to the farmer's market, go buy for that variety, because there's vitamin and minerals and nutrition, all that phytonutrient richness in all those foods. So Ayurveda said first, fresh food, local food, organic food, and real variety, which is something you teach that I had really forgotten about. And then secondly, on top of that, really cooking your food with love, really paying attention to what foods suit you in different seasons. So for example, right now we're about to enter hot season, summer season in South Florida. It's going to be 100 degrees. That's not the season to eat nuts, fried foods, heavy foods, root vegetables, winter foods. Those foods are warming to the system. They're grounding. You're supposed to eat those winter foods fall going into winter. When we hit summer in seasonal places like where I live, you're meant to eat what is seasonal for that season. So, for example, watermelon, coconut water, beautiful berries. Like right around May, we're going to get mangoes and peaches and nectarines and plums. Why? Because those juicy fruit are all there to soothe you and cool you down naturally from nature. But what are most of us going to do here in South Florida? We're going to keep taking delivery of our same foods. We're going to eat the same dishes in all the restaurants and for people. And the other food category that works for all of us across the board, other than circadian seasonal eating, is super spices. So you can eat spices year round that are so powerful. Ginger, turmeric, ashwagandha, you take more in a supplement form, but tulsi, holy basil, is a great adaptogen for us that's calming and cooling to the system. Cilantro, coriander is a heavy metal detoxer. It has so many benefits. So just your simple herb garden can give you so much. And that flavor makes everything taste better as well. So I just love to show everyone that super spices are superfoods. Don't forget them.
Amazing. Right. It's funny that you mentioned that because that's why there's some clay or muck on my hands at this moment in time. Those 69 varieties or 69 tomato plants of probably 13 different varieties have gone into the ground into a tunnel today. Okay. And from that, we get them and they come into season, just as you mentioned, right, for a reason. They protect our skin from the likes of harsh conditions. Not that I ever recommend them, say sunburn, but they have that beneficial polyphenol antioxidant compounds that have the ability to do that. The basil went into the ground today that will come into a season in roughly, I'm going to say, about a month, if not maybe 6 weeks' time. And again, it's eating these foods, but you just mentioned and so rightly, it's the idea that literally we just need to go back. And I sometimes forget that I'm doing that, but I don't know that I'm doing that. I'm eating not just the tomato, I'm eating the tomatoes. The yellow pear was a variety that went in today.
Yes.
Red lotus, teardrop, balm was one of them. And all these poor law bullets, like these are all just different varieties of tomatoes. Iris, there's between beefy, cherry, and plum. And if in apples, like there's not only just one apple, there's all the varieties of apples. There's about, I don't know, probably 500 varieties. And it's, again, I forgot about it and then was chatting to you about it. And now it's like, Jesus, I better make sure that I'm eating the variety. And I think actually a really good one for most people might be like rainbow chard. All right. You ever come across that?
No, I mean here in the United States, I shop from many different grocery stores, and what happens is I think you become so narrow in what's
Mm.
easy to cook. So you just eat that, or in my case, I have young kids. They will only eat maybe six vegetables that exist. So it's easier if you just buy those six. They're only going to eat those. You don't waste your time and effort. And so recently, when I sat down with a health coach and I was like, hey, I need to work on leaky gut, I have it again. She's like, okay, well, I need a new vegetable every day. And I was like, oh God, I have to shop differently if I'm going to my personally self eat a new vegetable every day. That's asparagus. That's like bringing in what no one else in the house may eat. And so really Ayurveda taught us, can you just make a little time for yourself? Nowadays we get so busy. We make zero time for ourselves. How hard is it to roast some asparagus in delicious olive oil and salt and pepper and just enjoy it? But we turn food into a chore. And just talking to you the last time we did talk, I thought, wow, I think of myself as having a black thumb. And you said you don't know what a black thumb is. And I
I'd
was like,
never heard of it. It's green fingered or green thumbed is a thing here in Europe, I suppose, for the most part, but I'd never heard of black thumb.
so here we talk a lot about, oh, I have a black thumb. I can't grow anything. Everything dies. So the only plant I own in my home is snake plants because snake plants are almost impossible to kill. They'll just live through everything you do to them. Um, but yeah, you really inspired me to grow my own herbs and grow my own food in the backyard and just try and really pull in delicious varieties because there's, like I said, variety within the vegetables that we have completely forgotten. We're very mono in those ideas. And then also, are we eating the same broccoli and cauliflower, whatever it is that are your two or three favorite vegetables, week after week, 52 weeks a year, and forgetting that there's like a rainbow and a plethora and so much different food we can reach into. Our gut is asking us for it. Our microbiome is asking for that variety. And without that variety, we're always going to be lacking the gut strains we need. And Ayurveda said gut health is brain health and mood. It's your immune system. It's everything is relying on that gut to work well. And so my reminder to everyone is bring in the food to support that healthy gut that you need.
Yeah, I'm going to even make it a little more specific for the general listener of this podcast, typically women in families. As a result of that, with the high percentage of people are suffering with the likes of either leaky gut or gut health issues, what are the first things that you would try and going to say get them to do? And or is there something you consume first thing in the morning, or is it last thing at night? Yeah, I just kind of love to further expand on that because that would be really helpful.
Sure. So one small point, which is a big point that I'll make, is our gut is also not just our immune system, and women suffer the most with autoimmune, but it's also our hormones. And so as we're aging and we're transitioning through perimenopause, menopause, and beyond, gut health becomes ever more important. Understanding your constitution ever more important because we consider perimenopause to menopause a transition into a Vata time of life, that air ether constitution type comes along and just dries us out and wreaks havoc in all directions. But when it comes to leaky gut, some simple habits that we teach from Ayurveda are when you wake up in the morning, use a copper tongue scraper. And so do you have a copper tongue scraper?
Would you believe I don't? But the last podcast that I've recorded is for oral health, and it
Yes.
was about how to actually brush your teeth. Because
Yeah.
again, just like that, that's the start of your gut health. But tongue scrapers did not come up, and I'm so glad you brought that up. What is the tongue scraper? Further expand on that point, make it as simple as possible. Love it. Well done.
Sure. So in Ayurveda, we sell simple tongue scrapers. You can buy one from any whole health food store. I have one on my website. They're easy to find. In Ayurveda, we love copper because it's antibacterial, but truly it could be steel or whatever you find. It's not a big deal as long as you clean it well. You're going to take this tongue scraper and you're going to gently scrape the tongue 7 to 14 times in the morning. We teach in Ayurveda that this film accumulates on your tongue. It's a white film. So if you stick your tongue out at yourself in the mirror, you might see that white film or different serrations. You have a very clean tongue. Good job.
That's really
That's
interesting because I've just.
rare. That's so rare. That is a complete lack of a toxic burden. Good job. Good job. I'm
I have.
impressed.
That's so
I'm
funny.
impressed.
Well, I have been
Oh,
eating beetroot out of the ground today, as well as I just finished off
amazing.
that kind of a purple.
Blood purifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. That's really good. So you'll scrape the tongue 7 to 14 times, then rinse your mouth. You can also practice something called oil pulling. So you'll take any food grade organic oil and put a tablespoon or two in your mouth. It could be coconut oil, sesame oil, really any food grade oil. And you'll swish it around your mouth from 5 to 20 minutes. You can do this while doing any other habit. As a mother, I need to do that when I'm showering or if I'm vacuuming or whatever the task is. I multitask a lot of my self-care. And so what you're doing is you're really collecting all the toxins in the mouth, all that bacteria that doesn't belong. And then when you spit it out in the trash, not the toilet, sink, or shower, because you don't want to clog the pipes of your home. But these are two simple Ayurvedic self-care rituals that we teach for the morning that are really a focus on detoxification, supporting that gut health. When we support oral health and oral microbiome, we are supporting gut microbiome because the communication improves. The body understands, hey, Shivani is eating gluten-free toast right now. We better be ready with the correct enzymes down here because it's very clear what she's eating in this moment. And so that communication is key. Now, we also teach in the morning, first thing first, we have to have a good bowel movement. So if you don't have one ready to go, it's important to have hot water. Hot ginger water will also help because it's anti-inflammatory, it's soothing to the gut lining, it gets that digestive fire awake and ready for the day. Or I like to have aloe vera juice. Aloe vera juice is another easy solution. It's a little more cooling as opposed to heating, so it just depends on your nature, which one you prefer. I'll just have like a shot, like a small shot of aloe vera juice in the morning, and that'll ensure bathroom happening first thing. Because a lot of people don't go to the bathroom. And when we're talking about gut health, you have to have a bowel movement every day. You cannot be constipated and expect to have a healthy gut. So we always like to cover that topic. And then when it comes to leaky gut, we actually have a lot of solutions in Ayurveda. And our solutions are using ghee, which is purified, clarified butter in your diet throughout the day, lining that gut lining with a healthy fat that's going to really seal up the gut. Healing turmeric specifically is very good for the gut. It kills off the bad, keeps the good, and helps support the gut lining as well. And then really eating a gut-friendly diet, which is you have to kind of specify what that is to different people. To simplify it, I would say a gut healthy diet is an anti-inflammatory diet. So cut out gluten, sugar, alcohol, all these things that are kind of like assaults to the gut, and give your gut a break for 2, 3 weeks. Eat just fresh, maybe more cooked food that's easier to digest. And then once the gut lining has healed, then you can go back to normal.
Very good. Oh my God, there was so much there to unpack, right? I just want to go back to the oil pulling. It's something I have done. I haven't done it in combination with the tongue scraper because I am like you. I like to multitask. So I would do it typically when I'm driving in the car and
Yes.
or listening to a podcast as I go to some venue or event to do as many things as I possibly can. But is there a preference to do it first thing in the morning, as I previously heard, to either pull something up from your stomach or in and around your mouth only? Have you ever heard of that, or is that something you've come across?
Yes. We teach it as a morning habit because overnight your body is detoxing. We teach that 10 to 2 on the circadian clock is what we call Pitta time of day and Pitta time of night. So that's when your digestive fire is there to clean and clear and get all the junk out, get all the lymphatic waste out. So because the body is detoxing, our job first thing in the morning is to let all that go. Is to brush our teeth, wash our face, flush our eyes with cold water, go to the restroom, take a shower and bathe. We're meant to do all these bathing things. Why? Because we're helping the body get rid of everything it accumulated. It's ready to send it out. We just have to get it out of us.
Very good. Yeah, so I will continue to do it, and more specifically in the morning. For myself, that was a selfish kind of question for me, asking
Okay.
specific, that question. So, was that something that you always were? Were you always someone to um, practice all these different techniques and health regimes, or like where was the where it really kicked in? You're like, oh my God, or who was a real inspiration to you, and when did it all kind of kick off?
I saw a post the other day about Dr. Pepper and Big Red gum, and I shared it because I said, I used to drink soda and eat gum every day and do all the bad things, and I ate McDonald's and Taco Bell, and I did all of it. Because guess what? That was the 80s. Like we had no idea, good or bad. Now I'm in my 40s, 45. It's a whole different conversation. Every woman around me is like red light mask, walking vest, walk 10,000 or 20,000 steps a day, walking pads. Like there's a whole different intensity around wellness now. And so I love being honest and saying I had horrible habits. And then when I realized that Ayurveda had this power in it of building a daily ritual that would undo all the past damage, but also undo and detox from our daily lives. Our daily lives can have a cumulative burden, this accumulation of toxins, and sometimes we just don't realize what that's doing to us. The stress, the environmental toxins, our makeup and our skincare and hair care. Everything around us, air quality, water quality, big issues in the United States right now, and probably pretty much the whole world, in fact. Food quality, the pesticides, the GMOs, all that stuff, the insecticides. So our poor bodies, in my opinion, are under assault. And it's probably why, for most of my life, I kept thinking, why don't I have an immune system? How come everyone else doesn't get sick and I keep getting sick? And so that's what really led me to when I sat in my first Ayurveda lecture. I'll never forget this teacher, Brachi, in Houston was teaching, and I thought, I could have had an immune system this whole time. I could have had a healthy body this whole time. No one taught me how to live this way. And that's when I decided I've got to teach this because that's insane that we have the most profound healing system in India and it's just sitting there and no one's teaching it to the rest of the world. So Deepak Chopra is one person who wrote great books and started teaching it here in the West. And now there's many of us who are trying to bring this wisdom forward so people can understand that you can build a rhythm for yourself and living in rhythm with nature is the rhythm that holds you in a healthy vibration and a healthy frequency. And when we get dysregulated with that rhythm, everything starts to go off. Sleep is off, our health is off, and we're fighting this uphill battle all the time. So if in your life right now you're like, gosh, everything is so hard, sometimes our external factors are hard, money, job, those bigger serious things. But if in your health and your body things feel hard, it's time to understand where do we need to turn that ship and get into alignment with our circadian rhythm, in alignment with how we're eating and when we're eating, so that everything becomes easy. The body wants to be healthy and heal itself. We just get in the way. And so that's Ayurveda's key message is really to kind of live how you're living on the land and with the land. And for those of us who aren't willing to do that all day, because we're like, no, I can't, I don't have time. I've got this other career already going. How do you build that rhythm into your existing life in a way that's doable and attainable and doesn't become yet another new big checklist?
Yeah. And the idea is, I love that quote that you shouldn't compare your chapter one with someone else's chapter 10. Like that's taking away the joy of what you currently have. Whereas that beautiful job with that lovely house, with the kids, with that partner, and that literally gives you the life that you are currently living. It's just about making a 1% improvement in itself. I know
Right.
Ayurvedic is something that I do practice different areas of it myself. But
Nice.
is that something in relation to you can further expand on maybe sun gazing and or grounding? Yeah, those are
Yeah.
things that are not often talked about, and I'd love you to further expand on those.
For sure. Ayurveda says wake up to the sun, set with the sun. So there's a lot of ways to do that. Ideally, when we wake up in the morning, like I open my blinds, step outside, face the sun. Don't burn your own eyes with the sun, but sun gazing is a powerful way to quickly align your circadian rhythm to the sun and to the clock and the circadian clock where you are every day. And that will start your sleep pressure for a better night's sleep as well. So it's important to do that. Grounding, if we can just get outside for 5 minutes a day and put our feet on Mother Earth, I actually think 90% of our life problems would be resolved. And we're just unwilling to do it. It's so funny how unwilling we are to do all the free, easy things that would actually do everything for our health. I always laugh when I'm ready to buy a new device. I'm like, you are not allowed to do that device until you go put your feet in the grass, okay? Because what you're buying it for is the same result as PEMF is putting your feet in the ground and grass is free. It's in front of your house. Let's go. And so yes, all these little habits of just being in nature are the ultimate healer. What I think is great is when you have little kids, they force you to get outside. They have so much energy. And so whenever I take my kids to the park, they're like, "Mommy, don't be weird and walk barefoot." And I'm like, "Everyone in this park should be barefoot. This is the best opportunity for grounding. We should all walk the park in circles barefoot." And so I always do that. I'm like, if I'm here and you're playing soccer, that this is my best opportunity to ground and heal and release the energy of the day. And so that's my main message to everyone is Mother Nature can heal you in every single way. You just have to allow her to. It really comes down to the freshness of the food, allowing the sun to kiss your skin a few minutes a day, morning and evening. That's enough to set the clock. Put your feet on earth, a few minutes a day. Sometimes I'll just go sit in my grass. That's it. If you're going to be on your iPhone, just do it in the grass. It's not overcomplicated. Just keep it simple. But these little things they will automatically click you back into your circadian rhythm, and then everything will get easier. Sleep will improve, digestion will improve, the body will have more support energetically to heal itself, and a lot of the issues we struggle with can resolve.
Yeah. Oh my God, great. I'm delighted you mentioned that. It's called like habit stacking, lads. You literally do one thing that literally mightn't be something that's in the norm on the phone, on the
Yeah.
buzzer, on the social media, but just put the feet, especially if we're coming out of spring, we're going into summer. Get in and on it, right? It's a simple one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want to kind of guide you towards, I suppose, we're talking a little bit about foods already, right? Adding in turmeric, what way do you do it? And are there, I'm going to say, periods of time that you would ever recommend for people to go on either juice diets to clear out or improve any one particular gut health issue? Yeah, maybe expand on that because turmeric is
Sure.
a brilliant a spice to use, and I love it myself.
Yeah, turmeric is incredible. So I did my master's in Ayurvedic sciences, and in herbology class, they talked about turmeric, and I thought, if turmeric can really do all that, I need to study that more. That's incredible. So I did my PhD dissertation on turmeric, just studying and studying it for years. And what most people don't realize is turmeric is anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. It is anti-H. pylori, anti-parasite. It causes cell death to all the cells that are accumulating in our body that don't belong there. So apoptosis to the cells, cell death is very important. When things stop dying off that need to go, that's when we start to accumulate a lot of diseases and malignant cells and problems. It's very pro gut health. So it helps us keep the good bacteria and get rid of the bad. It can function like a metformin, so it helps with weight management as well, because of that anti-inflammatory effect as well, and because of how it supports the liver. It's very anti-aging. It impacts sirtuins, telomeres, all these different really cool pathways. I love it because when people have joint pain, they're going to take stuff for their pain, and it's a very good natural solution for joint pain. And that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. Once I realized its power, I thought, why aren't all doctors recommending it to their patients? When I go to the doctor, they tell me to take NSAIDs, and then I have stomach aches. That makes no sense. I keep telling everyone I can't take drugs, they hurt me, but no one was listening. And so I built my own formula called turmeric gold and inflammation relief, just so for those of us when we hurt ourselves or want to prevent pain, we can take those solutions. And so what most people don't realize is out of the entire turmeric plant, only 3% of it is the curcuminoids. And the curcuminoids are the most studied piece of the plant right now that we know is significantly anti-inflammatory. And so whole plant matters. Yes, we should eat fresh food and all those things. But when it comes to turmeric, when we're talking about joint pain and these bigger issues, the extract is the most powerful, potent way to get the result. And so that's what I took. I took a very potent form of turmeric's extract at a 95% standardization and gave a full 500 milligrams of it in a capsule. And then what I realized was everyone started taking it saying, I have no pain, I'm good to go. And I said, wait a minute, guys, it was inflammation that caused the pain. I still need to teach you how to live the anti-inflammatory lifestyle, fix your gut, sleep well. So that's when I started teaching Ayurveda the way I do, because I didn't want everyone to just turn it into the next pill that solves the problem. That doesn't make sense. Even though it's beautiful plant medicine, let's have both. Let's solve the problem. And then now that we're out of pain, let's get moving. Let's reduce that inflammation and build total vibrant health as well.
Yeah. Is there something that you should take with the likes of the turmeric to maximize its benefits or anything along those lines?
Absolutely. So always take turmeric with healthy fat or a black pepper. When you use that black pepper extract, you're going to increase that absorption by 2000%. When you eat it with a healthy fat, it's going to cross the blood-brain barrier and help with neurocognitive issues as well. And so a lot of times I tell people I made mine with the black pepper, just eat it with a meal so you get the benefits of both.
Yeah, very good. I sometimes would incorporate in having the eggs in the morning. So I have my eggs always sunny side up. That's the way I love it. And
Nice.
with the one ring or two ring on each one of the yolks, I would put the cayenne pepper or black pepper on it, and I would do the yolk first. So it's lining my gut right first
Awesome.
thing in the morning. That's me excelling and doing as much as I can for my gut first thing in the morning. Because I used to suffer with autoimmune diseases for people that didn't
Ah,
know that. I used to have rash, used to have eczema, used to have mild asthma because of all the ultra processed foods that have been high histamine. And now
yeah.
with foods such as turmeric, ginger, with the healthy fats and any of the peppers to really get me back on track.
Awesome. I love that.
Really cool. Next thing is, I suppose the idea is like juices. Is there any like I've just had a smoothie myself. I'm just thinking about, are there times or literally periods that you would yourself, or I'm going to say recommend to people to go on more juices for any particular reason for an illness or an ailment?
We love cleansing. So in Ayurveda, we teach about doing one big annual detox. Typically, we want you to detox at the intersection of seasons. So based on which constitution you have, it's important to detox at the beginning of that season. So for example, I'm a Pitta. I run really fiery hot. So I need to detox pre-summer and post-summer. Pre-summer to prepare for the summer ahead, and post-summer to get rid of any residues and accumulations that happen in that season. Or you can do one big annual detox. But either way, juicing can be part of it. We have different dishes that we create during that time that are easy to digest. I've done many, many, many juice fasts because it's an easy way to give the gut a total rest, keep dropping in beautiful nutrition that the body can easily absorb, and then give our body so much action-packed nutrition while really giving the gut the break it needs so it can go heal and do all the other work that it needs to do. So yeah, detoxing, we call it Panchakarma in Ayurveda, and we want everyone to do big annual detoxes and then gentle seasonal detoxes as well, because that's the key to get rid of that ama accumulation that happens in the lymphatic system, in the gut. the inflammation, all of it.
When you say a big juice fast, could you further expand on that? Is that just
21,
yeah?
21 days of detoxing.
21 days.
Yeah, yeah, I've done it many times in India. It's really intense, but it's like the ultimate oil change. If you're not going to clear the system every once in a while, how do you expect the car to run well? So yeah, we prefer a big 3 week detox if you can commit. If you cannot commit, I will take a 7 or a 14 day out of anyone. But typically in my programs, if people sign up for my 6 week program, we will do a 21-day detox together. We will enter the detox gently, we will do it, and then we will recover out of it. But you can eat during a detox. You don't have to only do juice for the whole time. You can pick like 1 week that's juice only.
Interesting. Can you further
You're
expand on
looking at
this?
me kind of shocked.
No, no, I just love opening up. Like it's like opening up a new present. You go, well, I've never seen this before, but I would be
Yeah.
well interested. And when you say 21, I'm like, geez, I'd love to try a 21. I just like new things all the time that people are,
Yeah.
have done throughout the like the ages, whether it's Ayurvedic or it's a particular diet, whether it's keto or vegan or vegetarian. I've tried all the matter of interest. I
Yeah.
try again for 14 days, probably much longer for particular diets. But the idea is like 21 days. What would the juices and or is it juices only or smoothie? What's the difference between a juice and a smoothie?
We're not very pro smoothie in Ayurveda. We're not pro ice. We're not pro cold. So we would stay away from smoothies. We think that everything should be warm, easy to digest, move through the system easily. So even in India, when I've done juice fasting for a week, they put a little ice in it so it's palatable, but they don't make it icy, icy cold for you. And it'll be a different series of vegetable juices and different types of teas and juices throughout the day. We're big fans of herbal tea because we use herbs so much. So it could be a juice with beets and cilantro, carrot, celery. They had different concoctions that they gave us. Um, but yeah, in Ayurveda, we're very much about room temperature, easy to digest, easy on the system, and that kind of thing first. And so in a 21-day cleanse, there would be a lot of self-care rituals around detoxing, massages, walking, yoga, breathing exercises, castor oil packs on the liver. It's intense. It's like the most incredible cleanse. If anyone has a serious chronic disease, I highly recommend going to India or even in the United States, we have beautiful Ayurveda centers that will do those profound detoxes on you. And I've always found it to be the best way to just reverse out of something that didn't belong in the body and is just an accumulation.
Oh my God, my ears are pricked. Are I'm going to say any of these retreats something that you currently do and in America at this moment in time?
There's one called Maharishi Institute in the United States. I have not been yet, but I have many friends who have gone. And so it's on my list to get to go. Right now, I have teenagers who need me, so I'm waiting until I can find a good time slot and leave them and go and do that kind of a detox again.
Amazing. Oh my God,
I miss it.
that's so interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Very, very interesting in itself. I suppose I'm super conscious of your time in itself. Shivani, is there anything else that we haven't touched on? I know we could probably kind of deep dive into sleep a little bit, but we have kind of mentioned about setting your circadian rhythm, whether it's grounding and or I'm going to say getting in some sun gazing, which is literally, and again, just to repeat, you don't have to really look directly at the sun to sun gaze. You can look left, you can look right. Just having the sunlight entering your eyes. And for the people that say in Ireland or Europe, it's always shagging raining over here, I'll say without the light, most certainly the sun, it wouldn't be bright. It would be literally pitch black. So the sun is there even behind the clouds.
True. No, it's very true. I think we covered a lot of it. That was a lot for people to absorb. But Ayurveda's main mission is to bring body, mind, and spirit into alignment. And I do that by working with clients privately. I do that through my supplement company, Fusionary Formulas. I've created these different teas that people can use throughout the day to help kind of build that rhythm. I created a perimenopause, menopause tea so you could have that through the day and get the adaptogenic support. Then when we get home, I made one called Unwind Tea with adaptogens to help us unwind and take it down a notch because some of us like to work too late into the evening. Then a deep sleep tea to help you really relax the mind and digestive system for sleep. So really it's about building your own rhythm and finding those tools, whether it's teas and supplements or it's self-care tools to build that beautiful rhythm for yourself. and get out in nature more. Nature itself knows how to do it all.
Yeah, you're dead right in saying that. Like, Shivani, is there a place where people can, I'm going to say, reach out to you if they want to have, firstly, a conversation or have any further questions, or mention the likes of your social medias if you wouldn't mind possibly here?
For sure. So my website is my name, shivanigupta.com, ShivanIGupta, and I'm at dr.shivanigupta on Instagram and almost every social channel. You are welcome to DM me. I love getting questions. My dosha quiz, my 7-day inflammation challenge, my book with Hay House coming out in 2026. It's all inside of my website. And then I made a special code for you, Power15 will give everyone 15% off at fusionaryformulas.com. And that's FUSIONARY, fusing East and West in a beautiful way for our health.
Right, Shivani, I always end these, when I say shows, by saying stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic.